In the heart of Kuwait, where the desert winds whispered ancient secrets and the city lights twinkled like scattered stars, lived Noura Al-Tagaga. Her voice was a silken ribbon, woven with the soul of old Kuwaiti folk songs, and her all-female band, the Pearl Weavers, was a symphony of percussive rhythms and haunting melodies. They were the most sought-after wedding performers, bringing joy and life to every celebration. One sweltering July night, a call came from an unknown number. A man with a voice like rustling leaves and a chillingly polite tone hired them for a wedding in Sabahiya. He insisted on a performance for a select family, and the address he gave was a grand, ornate mansion on the edge of the desert. The house itself was a fortress of silent, dark stone, its windows like vacant eyes staring out at the approaching twilight. As Noura and her band entered, a strange stillness settled over them. The air was thick and heavy, carrying a scent of jasmine and dust. The guests, though dressed in the finest silks and jewels, moved with a disquieting grace. Their faces were beautiful, but their smiles never reached their eyes, and their laughter was a hollow, echoing sound. As Noura began to sing, a shiver traced her spine. She noticed small, unsettling details: a woman's arm bent at an impossible angle, a man's feet shuffling in a way that revealed no ankles, only hooves. The dancing was frantic, a blur of impossible contortions and silent screams masked by the cheerful music. The lead percussionist, Fatima, dropped a drumstick, the clatter a jarring intrusion in the surreal scene. When she bent to retrieve it, she saw it clearly: the guests' legs were covered in coarse, wiry fur, and their feet were cloven. A choked gasp escaped her lips, but Noura, seeing the terror in her eyes, shook her head almost imperceptibly. They had to keep playing. The music was their only shield. Fear became the new rhythm of their performance. Every beat of the drum was a desperate prayer, every note from Noura's throat a plea for survival. They played on, hour after agonizing hour, until the moon hung low in the sky, and the scent of jasmine turned to the suffocating smell of decay. At 3 a.m., as if on a signal, the lights flickered and died. A chilling silence descended, broken only by the sound of their own frantic breathing. Noura, her hands trembling on her oud, whispered to her band, "Now. Run." They stumbled out of the mansion, abandoning their instruments, their lives. They didn't stop until the sand was a burning blur behind them and the sun began to paint the sky in colors of a new, horrifying dawn. The next morning, they returned, seeking their forgotten instruments. The grand mansion was gone. In its place stood a dilapidated ruin, an abandoned husk swallowed by the desert. There were no fresh footprints, no signs of a party, only the wind whistling through hollow windows. It was then that they understood. They hadn't played for a wedding of mortals. They had performed for the Jinn, the unseen beings of the desert, and they had barely escaped with their lives. Noura never sang for a wedding again. The sweet melody of folk music was forever tainted by the memory of a night when music was a shield against a horrifying truth. Her voice, once a source of joy, now carried the heavy weight of sorrow and a chilling secret that no one would ever truly believe. She became a living ghost, a quiet reminder of the night she danced with demons and lived to tell the tale.